Hello there, I'm Bernie Miklas, and welcome to The Bernie Show here on STL Sports Central, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Here at STL Sports Central, we're proud to give you abundant content on all the local teams you love, including the colleges, and we will be doing more and more and more as we go along. And you can help us out by subscribing to our YouTube channel and hitting that like button. On behalf of my colleagues at STL Sports Central, we thank you for your support. Today's topic, let's get to it. Almost here. Mizzou hosting Alabama, two nationally ranked teams. SEC showdown, Faurot Field in Columbia. Saturday morning at 11 a.m. kickoff Central Time. Will the Tigers upset Alabama? Well, as a Mizzou fan, I sure hope so. And as a Mizzou fan who also happens to be objective about such matters, I do play it straight. I give an honest assessment. If anything, I over-prepare in terms of looking at trends, statistics, investment angles, everything else. I have a lot of faults. One of them is not being thorough. I'm pretty thorough. So I try to play it straight in terms of who I think is going to win a game. So we'll get to my prediction later, but first I want to set things up for you. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube this week just to get a sense of how some of the college football analysts and commentators out there, people that I really like, think do a good job, how they see this game. So one comment from a host at On3, which is a great site, by the way. This one struck me. This gentleman said, and I quote, Missouri, you're the show me state, right? Well, okay, we'll see. Undefeated? Cool, that's good. Well, who have you played? South Carolina? Nice. Kansas? Good. But if you want to be taken seriously as a real college football playoff contender, then you got to go beat Alabama at your place. Can you do that? And then he ended it by saying, I don't know. That's a tall task. Now, you notice the skepticism. It's out there. I get it. It's no big deal. I just like to point it out. But interestingly, see, here's the payoff for you. Interestingly, the analyst from On3 went on to predict a Mizzou victory over Bama. So I think that's a reflection that there is more and more respect coming to Coach Drinkwitz and his squad as time goes on. But I do understand the skepticism only to a point, but I understand it because over the last 3 seasons, Mizzou's got the second best home field record among power conference teams and Notre Dame. Only Oregon has been better at home. And Mizzou's overall 26-5 record over the last 3 seasons ranks among the top 5 nationally among the power conference squads in Notre Dame. But there are other factors that objective fans and media are looking at, and they aren't off base to look at it. Not at all. They're, if I wasn't a Mizzou fan per se or following Mizzou closely, I would look at things from a distance and say, are they really that good? I mean, that's just human nature. Unless it's a name brand, which gets extra points for whatever reason, I don't know. The perception is always something that aspiring teams, really good aspiring teams like Mizzou, they just have to keep passing those tests over and over again. For example, you hear this a lot. Well, I really respect Mizzou. Mizzou's got a lot of talent. Oh, man, Pribula's been great. Ahmad Hardy. Gosh, playmakers everywhere. They're off to a 5-0 start, but, every game's been at home. Okay, get it? I get it. Since moving into the SEC in 2012, the Tigers are 10-34 against ranked SEC opponents. And when Mizzou is also ranked in a game against a ranked SEC team, basically ranked versus ranked, the Tigers have lost 9 of the 14 matchups. There's also the matter of Mizzou's performance against the 3, I think, widely recognized blue blood SEC programs. Since joining the SEC Brotherhood, Mizzou is 2-18 against Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. Now, a lot of that, of course, happened in the more distant past, but even since the Mizzou program kicked in under Coach Eli Drinkwitz over the last 3 seasons, 23, 24, 25, the Tigers are 0-3 against Bama, Georgia, and LSU. And since Drink took over the program in 2020, Mizzou is 1-7 against Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. Furthermore, Mizzou's got 1 home loss over the last 3 years, and that was to LSU in 2023. I know you'll remember that, even if you don't want to. I didn't like that one, but I got to say, man, Jaden Daniels, the LSU quarterback, was going to go on to win the Heisman. Pretty magical. Coach Drink and his men have a great and exciting opportunity to step up, beat Alabama, and strengthen their credibility to people that are non-believers, especially when the Crimson Tide, just delivered back-to-back wins at Georgia and then at home against Vanderbilt. And if Mizzou can win this game, then the Tigers will be part of the early discussions about a spot in the potential 12-team playoff field. And that's exciting, just to even think about Mizzou being in those discussions. But if Mizzou loses to Alabama, it'll be a blow to the Tigers' chance to prove they're capable of staying in the playoff hunt because, as you know, after this skirmish against Crimson Tide, Missouri's going to play 4 of its final 6 regular season games on the road, and there's also a tough home game against Texas A&M. So a loss to Alabama won't remove Mizzou from any map, but a loss is a loss, and you only get 2 of those, probably at the most, maybe 3, if you want to make the playoffs. So no team can afford to lose more than 2. And even if a team, is really good, has a great resume, and loses 3, and can still make a case for the tournament, that's a far, far cry from a sure thing. More than the playoff, a Mizzou loss to Alabama would also bring out the army of "I told you so" about Mizzou people who see Mizzou as some sort of fraud, not on the same level with the established SEC powers. That's another motivational reason to win this one. The Tigers want respect. They've gotten respect. Now they want more respect because they're not going to be able to escape those doubters. Even if the doubters think they're a good team, but holding back because it's like, well, show me something against one of those big teams in the SEC. And well, if they can get the Tigers can get that win against Alabama, the quick response then would be, well, so what? Nick Saban ain't coaching that team. Yeah, so it's kind of funny. It's a great time to be a football player at Mizzou. It's a great time to be a fan of Mizzou's wonderful revival in football. What's not so great is having a terrific run of success over its last 31 games, the last 3 years, only to have the skeptics constantly moving the goalposts. So the Tigers have to make the most of Saturday's big opportunity to make a powerful statement against SEC royalty. And then if they do that, more people will take Mizzou seriously. Now, some of you would say, and by the way, I don't disagree. Well, who cares what other people think? Just go win games. I agree with that. But I'm just saying, the standards are always different for a program like Mizzou because they're not blue blood. They've only been in this conference since 2012. They're just, people won't give them their due. I just like seeing them get their due. It makes me happy. That's the only spot I'm coming from. I do think they should get the respect they deserve. I also think they still have to earn that respect. They're held to a different standard. So will the Tigers get it done? That's up in my next segment of the Bernie Show, and I got some great stuff here for you, in the second segment. But first, I want to remind you of some exciting news from DraftKings Sportsbook. It's DraftKings Sportsbook, Missouri. Get ready. Here they come. The wait is almost over. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on the first day of September. Download now and place a $5 bet when DraftKings Sportsbook goes live. DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, endless ways to get in on the action. That live in-game betting is a lot of fun. You can do all this and more right from your phone. And when we officially go live in Missouri, you're going to be betting with the Sportsbook app that is trusted by millions. It's safe and it's secure. It's got fast money withdrawals and a lot of other things you will like. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code. You do it now and get organized. Use the code STL Sports to grab $300 in bonus bets, which is a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. Get all signed up. Play around with the app, see how it works, get comfortable so you're not rushing around on December 1st. That's code STL Sports to grab $300 in bonus bets, which is a $5 bet when we start officially on December the 1st. That's code STL Sports for that instead. It's in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. You must be 21 or over, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offers. Terms at Sportsbook www.draftkings.com/promos. All right, welcome back to segment number 2 of the Bernie Show, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can do with one click, easy peasy. Kindly hit that button as well, that like button, right? You like us, we like you. All right, so can Mizzou pull this one off? I think the Tigers have an excellent chance to get it done, but I don't think any of us will believe it'll be easy because Alabama seems to have collected itself and they're playing really well. Alabama is ranked 8th in this week's Associated Press poll. Mizzou is 14th. In Bill Connolly's current SP Plus rankings, Bama is 6th and Mizzou is 8th. This is an awesome matchup that has attracted plenty of college football fans. I don't know why it's in the 11 a.m. window. See, this is what I mean about, well, it's only Mizzou, that kind of thing. So it's an awesome matchup that I think, real college football fans are going to enjoy because everyone wants to see how the upstart's going to do against the established ruling class, right? And this has also attracted plenty of investors who have liked to put some money down on a football game or two this weekend. Alabama opened as a 6.5-point favorite, but the wagering class has reduced that down to 3 points, or even I've seen 2.5 in some places. So Mizzou's a home underdog, and that ain't a bad place to be at all. Home conference dogs have covered at a rate of 57% this season so far, any conference. Last season, home dogs covered 55% of the time. And there's some other numbers out there that are even just as strong, if not stronger, say that the underdog is a good, you're playing against the spread or you're betting straight up. The underdog seems to be a good play here. Recent trends tell us. Now, Mizzou hasn't played a serious opponent since beating South Carolina a while back. And they had that guaranteed easy win over UMass. They were off last weekend. That gave the coaching staff multiple weeks to prepare for Alabama. It also gave whatever players were banged up here and there, whatever the severity of the injury, guys would have a chance to play, probably a much better chance to play because of the time off. So that would help Mizzou. Not Alabama, because the Crimson Tide's been in back-to-back brawls coming into this one, emerging with a victory in close encounters against Georgia and Vandy, back-to-back weeks. Those were fights. They were tough games. As I mentioned the other day, and this is really important, so I'm going to mention it again, Alabama's road performance under head coach Kalen DeBoer is alarming from a Bama standpoint. Since DeBoer replaced the retiring Nick Saban, the Crimson Tide is 2-5 in games away from Bryant-Denny Stadium, and 4 of those 5 losses came against unranked opponents. So that factor's kicking in too, or should kick in this weekend. First, let me tell you what concerns me about this game from a Mizzou standpoint. And I'll stick to the basics. I'm not going to go into this 20-point list. Just number one, blown pass coverages by the Mizzou secondary. We've seen way too much of that already this season, even against some bad teams. And the Tigers cannot make it too easy for that dandy Alabama quarterback, Ty Simpson. Number 2, leaky pass protection that could put Missouri quarterback Beau Pribula in the bullseye too often. And picking up those Alabama blitzes, those linebackers are fast. That's a real key in this game. Although, as you will hear later, Mizzou's pass protection has been better than I assumed, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. Number 3, even when he isn't under pass rush pressure, Pribula has forced some stuff. I love him. Don't get me wrong. I can't wait to watch him play Saturday. But his interception rate coming into this game ranks 48th among 68 power conference quarterbacks that have attempted at least 75 throws. Ty Simpson, on the other hand, has got the 3rd lowest interception rate among 68 power conference quarterbacks that have attempted at least 75 throws. So that's a pretty big gap between the two of them. Number 4, I must admit, I'd be nervous if the outcome of this game at the last second comes down to Mizzou freshman kicker Robert Meyer making a 47-yard field goal as time runs out. Although he's 6 out of 7 so far this year, has missed a couple of extra points, but his confidence has been growing. Still, I'll be a little nervous if it comes down to it. All right, now I'm going to switch back to Beau Pribula. My apprehension about interceptions aside, he's also among the primary reasons why Mizzou has a clear shot at success in this one, because I did a really category by category comparison of the two quarterbacks. Now, if you stop the proverbial man in the street, not that anybody does that anymore because you might get punched out or pepper sprayed. Be careful about stopping the man in the street, that old saying. But if you ask college football people, you say, well, Simpson, Pribula is first thing you'll hear on every ESPN show, every SEC show, every show that matters that talks college football. He's on that short list, Heisman Trophy this year. Oh, he's on the short list. If I had to vote today, I would vote for him. I'm hearing a lot of that stuff. All right. So this is what I find interesting. Pribula has a higher completion rate than Simpson, a higher catchable ball rate than Simpson, and Pribula ranks number 1 in the nation with an on-target rate of 84.3%. I don't think there's anyone really more accurate than Beau Pribula. Now, there's a reason for that, which I'll get to. Just give me time. Number 2, compared to Simpson, Pribula has a higher passing grade from Pro Football Focus when throwing under pressure. Pribula ranks 13th among power conference quarterbacks when throwing under pressure, and Simpson's 37th. Okay, and this gets into why I think Beau Pribula is downgraded by national types. Because other than the interception rates, the most noticeable difference in the two quarterback profiles is aggressiveness in downfield throws. Pribula's adjusted yards per passing attempt is 55th among power conference quarterbacks. Adjusted yards per passing attempt, 55th among all of those power conference quarterbacks. Simpson goes deep a lot more often. They attack downfield a lot more often. And he ranks 9th among power conference throwers with an adjusted yards per attempt rate of basically 10 yards, which is really good. His vertical game is strong, and with DeBoer coaching him up, Simpson has taken firm, confident control of the Crimson Tide offense. He is in command. You know it when you see it, and he's effective when taking off on runs, but I think Pribula's got the check mark there. My point isn't I'm not disputing that Simpson's established himself as someone who is effective at throwing the deep ball. That's one thing we don't know yet about Beau Pribula. They like, Kirby Moore, the offensive coordinator, and Beau Pribula, they like to throw the short stuff, which is why Pribula ranks 45th among 68 quarterbacks this year in air yards and 62nd for intended air yards. So he's 45th among 68 quarterbacks in air yards and 62nd. I can't talk today. I'm sorry. I'm excited about this game. Can't wait for it to get here. So he's 45th among 68 quarterbacks in air yards, 62nd for intended yards. See, I'm slowing down a little. And I wonder if Kirby Moore has been saving up the deep ball stuff for Alabama. You never know, because by now defenses realize they have very little choice to load up the box to stop Mizzou's extraordinary running back Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts, for that matter. And in theory, that would create a bunch of downfield opportunities for Pribula. So has Mizzou been holding back a little bit? I think that's possible. In fact, I've been surprised not to see more deep throws going over the top. Maybe there was a strategy in that, a strategy that they were holding on to until they get a chance to see Alabama. Who knows? We'll find out. But before I return to Hardy, and I have some great stuff about the running backs matchup against the Alabama defense, let me point out some other distinct advantages Mizzou has over Alabama in ratings, which are deep and complex ratings issued by the very best sports info solutions. Mizzou is number 1 in the nation in run defense. Alabama's 33rd. Mizzou is number 1 in the nation in pass rush pressure rate. Number 1. Alabama's 63rd. Mizzou is 7th nationally in run blocking. Alabama's 55th. Despite the blown assignments by the Mizzou DBs, Sports Info Solution basically have Bama and Mizzou, and I'm going to say tied, but they're right next to each other in the ratings for pass defense. And these two teams are also close in the pass blocking rankings as well. So maybe Mizzou is not as vulnerable there, protecting the quarterback, as I assumed. That's why I check these things out. Now, I think you're going to like this stuff. So you can listen to some numbers, but I think this stuff is cool, if I must say so myself. Back to Ahmad Hardy. His running style makes for a strong matchup for Mizzou against Alabama's defensive front. Hardy leads the power conferences in yards rushing and yards after contact. Alabama's defense is allowing 5 yards per rush, which ranks 98th in SP+, and they're only 70th in stuff rate. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to happen on Saturday, but that's not a good resume to bring into a matchup against Ahmad Hardy. right? And I'm going to put Jamal Roberts in there too. Alabama's without throwing more numbers in there, Alabama's red zone defense has also been a liability. They've gotten mashed for a high touchdown percentage inside the 10, but also from inside the 20. According to Sports Info Solutions, and this is important because his versatility as a runner is one of the things that makes him so damn effective. So according to Sports Info Solutions, Hardy is a top 5 runner nationally in outside zone runs. Let me do that again. Top 5 runner nationally in outside zone runs, stretch runs, pitches, inside runs, and also a top 10 runner in counter plays. Good marks in sweeps as well. There isn't a type of running play that Hardy can't master, can't dominate. And you know this is an enormous headache for the defense because there's a lot of guys that'll, gain a lot of yards, but they're kind of limited in the type of runs that they're good at. Not Hardy. You just tell him what the play is. He has got a phenomenal rate this year. It's one of the best in the country. In fact, I think it was in the top 3 of hitting the gap in the design hole. You got a design running play, but the back's got to be right on time. His rate of doing that successfully is over 70%. That's even better than Cody Schrader was 2 years ago. And I thought he hit the hole every time. Ahmad Hardy hits the hole, then he hits another hole, then another hole, then another hole, then another hole as he's breaking tackles downfield. Now you say, well, yeah, Alabama, boy, they got all those rangy linebackers and they got some big men up front. They're going to just plug extra tacklers in the box. Well, good luck. So far, that hadn't worked. Against 5 men in the box, that's 1 extra man in the box. Hardy leads the nation in rushing. He's averaging just under 7 yards per carry. He's caused 33 broken or missed tackles. A few touchdowns in there too. All right, so all right. I'm not impressed, Nicholas. What about let's make it 6 defenders in the box. That ain't going to work. That'll slow, that should work. That'll slow Hardy down a little bit, right? No, I can't. If we're going by stats, I would say no. Hardy's even better against 6 in the box than 5 in the box. When he's going up against 6 defenders in that old box, he's rushed for 735 yards, average of 7.2 yards per run. He's also had 460 yards after contact against 6 men in the box with a combined 48 missed or broken tackles. Based on the expected points added metric, which I believe in, Hardy is the nation's #1 runner in EPA against 6 men in the box. And the same was true against 5 men in the box. So, all right, I'm going to shut you up, Bernie. Alabama's going to go crazy. They're going to put 7 men in the box, 8 men in the box, 9 men in the box. Yeah, good luck with that, Hardy. Going to slow you down. If the facts mean anything, no, that ain't going to happen. I love these stats. This season, when confronting 7, 8, or even 9 defenders in the box, Hardy has rushed 73 times for basically just under 500 yards, and he's piled up 288 yards after contact. That's why you see him, he makes the first guy miss, then he runs over somebody, then someone slows him down. It looks like he's going to tackle. He spins away and he hurdles or whatever. He just won't go down. Put 22 in the box. Well, they can't do that. Well, they'd like to try. But anyway, his rushing yards with 7, 8, or 9 in the box and his yards after contact in that same situation, it leads the nation. He's in both of those figures. He smashed for 32 first downs and 6 touchdowns in those situations, and he's #2 in EPA in those 7, 8, or 9 men runs in the box. One more thing, and I've bombarded you with a lot of numbers in this video, but I thought it was important to bring the facts before I make a pick, just so you know that I'm not engaging in fantasy wishful thinking ball here. And Ahmad Hardy, not to mention Jamal Roberts, are like having 2 trucks in the backfield, and this is not good news for Alabama. As we told you, they have 5 losses away from Bryant-Denny Stadium over the last 2 years under their new coach, and the Alabama defense has been mauled on the ground and has been attacked. This is crazy. In those 5 road losses, they've been attacked for 670 yards after contact in the run game. That's an average of 133 yards allowed after contact per game in those 5 road defeats. And now they're running up against the Mizzou team with Hardy, but also Roberts. They have a backfield. All they do is gobble up yards after contact. It's not a good matchup for Alabama. And the more Hardy and the others, including the quarterback, can bang up the Crimson Tide in the run game, it's going to be that much easier for Beau Pribula to flick a lot of damaging pass completions. And maybe once that defense gets worn down a little bit, maybe they'll go deep. At least make them account for you trying to go deep. I think it's a good day for that. Listen, I think this game will be tight, but I'm going to go with Mizzou 31, Alabama 27. I hope I'm right. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, leave your comments, support our sponsors. Thanks for putting up with me racing through this, garbling the language. A special thanks to DraftKings for presenting the Bernie Show here on STL Sports Central. Thank you very much.